Okay, we're ready to go.
Sorry for the little delay in the meeting, but welcome to the Planning and Zoning Committee meeting for February 10th, 2025. Mark, do you have an announcement to make on the
Yes, I
recording?
do. Yep, thank you. Okay, this is a web-based call. So we are operating under the following procedures. The session is being audio and video recorded. We will not use the chat feature at this meeting. To ensure sound quality, the default rule for this meeting is that everyone will remain on mute. Commissioners and staff will generally remain on mute, except when speaking or voting. This meeting is open to the public, but it is not a public hearing. Therefore, no members of the public may speak unless specifically invited to do so. If a member of the public creates an audio or video disruption, they may be manually ejected from the meeting upon recommendation of the staff or chair. We appreciate your attendance at this meeting. Should you have any questions about this process, you may call our staff at 860-444-5813 after the meeting has ended. And with that, I turn the meeting back over to the chair.
Okay, great. Thank you. So we have me and Tim Condorino and Karen here, and we're missing Victor and Tim as regular members. So we'll appoint Mike and Doris as regular members for tonight. All right. So welcome everyone. I see the Versus, Attorney Sweeney, the Boardwalk. I'll start. Okay, great.
Okay, I don't see yet, Greg, I don't see representatives of the other application, the Boston Post Road app on yet. So just kind of want
Okay.
to put that out there.
Well, I wasn't sure. It's labeled as the Boardwalk. Are they for that?
No, the Boardwalk, I believe, is with the Diversa project.
Okay, great. Okay. So let's just do, we have an approval of the January 13th meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the January 15th meeting minutes.
Okay. Motion made by Tim Condorino, seconded by Mike Albaum to approve the January 13th, 2026 meeting minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'll abstain.
Yeah, I'll abstain as well. It's not there. All right. Karen?
Oh, sorry. I agree.
Okay, great. 3-0. Okay, item number 4, application receipt, PL-26-2, request of George Secaroli, applicant, and Marcy Coward, trustee, owner, for a coastal site plan review and approval for a new single-family home on property located at 4 Ridgewood Avenue, BR-7.5 zone, in accordance with section 6A.4.1 and 25.4 of the zoning regulations, and as shown on plans entitled Zoning Compliance Survey, property of Marcy Coward, trustee for property located at 4 Ridgewood Avenue, Town of Waterford, County of New London, Connecticut, April 21st, 2023. The application was received on 1/27, and action is required by 4/2/26. Another application is PL-26-3, request of Larry Cohen, applicant and WS Asset Management owner, for site plan approval for Restaurant Depot for property located at 161 Waterford Parkway North, CR zone, in accordance with sections 9.1.2 and 22 of the zoning regulations, and as shown on plans entitled Site Development Plans for proposed Restaurant Depot, 161 Waterford Parkway North, New London County, Waterford, Connecticut, map and lot 105-8981, last revised December 10th, 2025. That application was also received on 1/27/26, and action is required by 4/2/26. One more application received, PL-26-4, request of James Waldron, applicant, and John Casey, Esquire, agent, for site plan approval for Crystal Mall adaptive reuse for property located at 850 Hartford Turnpike, CR zone, in accordance with sections 9.1.3, 9.1.13, and 22 of the zoning regulations, and as shown on plans entitled General Dynamics Electric Boat Crystal Mall adaptive reuse plans for proposed 850 Hartford Turnpike, Waterford, Connecticut, 06385, last revised January 26, 2026. Application was also received on 1/27/26, and the public hearing required by April 2nd, 2026. And then we'll go to item number 5.
Greg, I have one more for receipt that came in after the agenda was posted.
Okay.
Okay, it is PL 26-5, request of Mathon Fund 1 Liquidating Trust, owner and applicant to change the zone for a 188-acre parcel, property located at 140 Waterford Parkway South. Change the zone from IP1 General Industrial Park to IMF Industrial Multifamily in accordance with Section 28 of the zoning regulations and as shown on plans entitled Request for Zone Change Industrial Multifamily District, IMF, prepared for Mathon Fund 1 Liquidating Trustee, owner, applicant, proposed zone change plan. This application is received tonight, February 10th, 2026, and a public hearing must open by April 16th, 2026.
Okay, great. So moving on to item number 5, application review. We'll take PL-25-22, request of Paul Diversa, owner and applicant for a site plan approval for a pickleball court and clubhouse with banquet hall use for property located at 358-360 Mago Point Way, MPD zone, in accordance with sections 14A.37 and 22 of the zoning regulations, and as shown on plans entitled Site Development Plans, New Pickleball Court and Clubhouse with Banquet Hall Use, 358-360 Mago Point Way, Waterford, Connecticut 06385, prepared for Mago Way Realty LLC, dated February 6, 2023, last revised December 2nd, 2025, action required by March 19th, 2026. And so we have Attorney Sweeney.
Yes.
And the Diversas, the applicant, and I think someone else you said.
I have Lacey Donovan here as well. She's the boardwalk on your screen.
Okay, great. All yours.
Thank you.
We have anything to do beforehand, Mark? No.
No, we're all set for the applicant to make the presentation.
All set.
Terrific. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. For the record tonight, my name is Bill Sweeney. I am a land use attorney and a partner at the law firm of Tobin Carberry over in New London, Connecticut. And as always, it's a great pleasure to be before you. Tonight, I am here on behalf of my client, Mago Way Realty LLC, which is a Connecticut limited liability company. It's also the owner of 358 to 360 Mago Point Way here in the town of Waterford. As I said before, joining me tonight, I have Paul and Barbara Diversa. Some of you may be familiar with them. They are major investors and developers of the Mago Point area, have been involved in a number of properties in that area. I also have with their group, Lacey Donovan, who's also joining us as well. Tonight, we're here on behalf of my client for an application for site plan approval to do something very simple, and that is to add a banquet hall use to an already approved seasonal pickleball clubhouse with associated outdoor dining. I'd like to share the screen if that's okay, Mark. Do I have authority to do so?
Sure. Let me get you to share it.
Thank you. Can everybody see that picture all right?
So, yeah. Very
Great.
good.
So the application before you entails really a change of use. And that use is to add an additional use to the property at 358 to 360 Mago Point Way. It's the addition of a banquet hall use to the already approved uses on this half-acre parcel of land at Mago Point. As you may know, banquet hall use is a permitted use. It's permitted by site plan approval in the underlying Mago Point district. There was in the past the construction of a pickleball court. You can see that off to the right in this photo, and pollinator gardens, which are off to the left in this photo, which were approved on the subject property by zoning permit back in 2022. In 2023, I came before this commission and had gotten approval from you for the adaptive reuse and renovation of this former automobile repair facility. This work was done over the last couple of years, and this old service station was converted for a seasonal pickleball clubhouse, a private clubhouse, and some associated outdoor dining. There is a food vendor that's set up off to the right of this photo as well. Tonight, we're here to add the banquet hall use to the pickleball clubhouse so that this facility, and if you've had a chance to see this facility, if you've had a chance to go down there, you'll know that this facility is quite attractive. It's been renovated on the inside. Here's a picture of what it looks like on the inside right now. The plan here, or what we're asking for tonight, is to be able to use and rent out this facility to third parties for special events. And they would be small events, things like small weddings, dinner parties, anniversaries, graduation events, small private gatherings that aren't necessarily associated with the private pickleball club. This building today is served by public water and public sewer. And most importantly tonight, our application, there are no proposed physical modifications whatsoever to the interior or the exterior of the clubhouse facility. There's no proposed site work either. We're basically taking what exists there today and inserting or adding the additional banquet hall use to allow third parties to rent out this facility. I'm going to take a moment and put up the site plan that we submitted. This is the site plan for the property. This was previously approved by the commission in 2023. As you can see, there are the pollinator gardens off to the left, the pickleball court off to the right. This building in the center is the private pickleball court, or the clubhouse. You can see the pergola that wraps around the front and the side of it. And then there's sort of a half circular paved access way as well out in front with some parking spaces designated in that location. Inside the building, here is a layout showing the inside of the building. This is the floor plan of the building. Inside, the clubhouse currently consists of a small lobby as you enter. It has a large lounge area. That was the picture that I showed you before. It has a mechanical room and then both indoor and outdoor bathrooms serving the facility. We did work with our designers and work with fire marshal's office. The fire code occupancy of this building limits use of the interior of the building to 77 persons with table and chair setup. So consequently, our special events will be limited to no more than 77 persons at any one time. From an operational standpoint, we're going to put a hard cap of 72 guests for any special event at the facility. And that gives us a little bit of cushion for potentially for caterers or other event staff. In reality, though, many of the events that we're hoping to attract to this facility are going to be smaller, more intimate affairs. The site is really well positioned for those smaller dinner parties, anniversaries, birthday parties, and again, very small weddings. So this is not a major event facility. This is not like the event facility that was established at outside in other locations at Mago Point. This is a much more intimate, sort of closer knit facility. All food and beverage service for special events would be provided by third-party caterers or by the food vendor that's already approved for the site. We'll be bringing food into the facility. There are no commercial kitchen facilities in this building, so food will be brought in and brought off of the site as part of any kind of rental of the lounge area. Important again, there are no changes proposed, no physical changes to the building, no physical changes to the site. So this property is in the floodplain. Those of you who might have been around a couple of years ago when we got the original approval for the clubhouse, remember that we had to show compliance with floodplain construction requirements. There are no changes, so we don't implicate any consideration for floodplain issues. This property is in the coastal management zone, but it is exempt from coastal site plan review. Minor changes of use of a property when there's no associated site work are generally exempt from CAM site plan review, and so this application is also therefore exempt. If I go back to the site plan quickly, the original site plan that was approved in 2003 had a total of 6 parking spaces serving this use. Under your Mago Point district regulations, the demand for parking for any use is driven by the square footage of the building. And here we have a building that's just about 2,000 square feet in size, and there's a requirement for 3 parking spaces for every 1,000 feet. So whether you're a private pickleball clubhouse, whether you're a restaurant, whether you're a banquet hall, it doesn't change what the parking demand is. There are 4 parking spaces, an ADA space, and then 3 on this curve that are available on site. And the 2003 approval also approved 2 parking spaces off-site across the street at the office complex that's also owned by the Diversas. There are no changes to the parking regime, and so therefore, from a zoning perspective, this site is already fully conforming with zoning, regardless of what use is approved or not approved. But we did, as from an operational standpoint, we recognize that banquet hall use will generate the potential of having some additional traffic on the site. And so we also provided a plan in our site plan package showing simply the Diversa properties that are under the control of Paul or Barbara Diversa through their various entities in the immediate area that can be made available, particularly for evening events, to support off-street parking. There's 21 parking spaces in this office building that will be made available to support any banquet hall use at 358 to 360 Mago Point Way. There's some additional parking at their business office here at 357. And hopefully later this year, the Diversas will be moving forward with their breakfast / wine bar project across the street. That will have some additional parking that will be provided to the general area. From a practical standpoint, there's 31 spaces that the Diversas will have under their control when all of these projects are built out. And I think it is important, while it's not okay to count it from a zoning perspective, I think it is important to recognize that there's a tremendous amount of state public parking in the general area directly south from this map and under the bridge overpass that's utilized for a variety of users and uses in this area. So parking is really not a major issue in Mago Point. Finally, I would say the proposed use of this facility, the private pickleball club, for banquet hall use will be seasonal. The current building, the pickleball clubhouse, is a seasonal building. It is closed in the winter months, and the banquet hall will likewise be closed in the winter months. This is just basically a 3-season building, and that's part of the floodplain construction standards that were part of how we insulated the building and put the building together. So this will be a seasonal use. Again, just to conclude tonight with my presentation, a couple key things. This was, as many of you might remember, a property that was a sort of a deteriorated, underutilized automobile repair facility. The Diversas have put a significant amount of time, resources, and love into this property. This change only enhances the overall activity that can take place here. It allows the property to be fully utilized outside of just the clubhouse activities. There is a great demand for these sort of small, more intimate event venues, and the banquet hall use for this facility will fit really nicely into the existing approved private clubhouse use. Mago Point is an area which your plan of conservation and development wants to encourage a mix of uses, a vibrancy in that waterfront area, a vitality in the district. And we think the addition of the banquet hall use to this building will certainly do that. I think also this provides yet another attraction for Mago Point to bring visitors and residents alike down to Mago Point to enjoy what is a really beautiful area, a beautiful neighborhood, quite frankly, one that's much better because of the Diversas and the investments they've made into Waterford and into this neighborhood. And this property is sort of the gateway to that area. So to have sort of a vibrant event facility coupled with the pickleball clubhouse, I think makes a really nice entryway and gateway to Mago Point. So with that, again, it's a very simple and straightforward application. We're not changing anything on the property. We're just adding the ability to do third-party special events with outside catering. And we would hope tonight that you would agree with us that this meets your site plan requirements. I believe your staff has issued a staff report indicating the same, and we would hope for action on our application. And with that, I'll turn it back to the chairman. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Can we stop sharing the screen, Mark?
You can do that.
Thank you. Just change the view here. Okay, thank you for the presentation, Attorney Sweeney. Excellent as usual. And you hit the nail right on the head that that area is much better because of the contributions that the Diverses have made. That was probably it was a very accurate statement. So let's see where we go from here. Do we have any questions for Attorney Sweeney? Well, actually, are you done with your entire presentation?
I am. Myself, I'm available if anybody has questions. Paul and Barbara here, and Lacey Donovan, who works with them, who has oversight over this facility, is also on the call tonight. So if anybody had any questions, we'll try to answer them to the best of our ability. But it is very straightforward. It's literally just an additional use. There's no physical changes. What is there is going to stay the same.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant?
Greg, I do. I have two.
Okay.
I think it looks like a lovely project. I'm curious what time of day you expect these events to happen, and I'm curious if the events will be indoor and outdoor or just in the indoor space.
Yeah, that's great. Great question. We expect to have generally evening events or late afternoon events. We might have ones that are earlier in the afternoon and that go into the night as well. Generally speaking, events shut off around 10 o'clock. That's for noise concerns and just the way these types of operations run. The facility, the banquet hall facility, is indoor in the lounge. I do have a picture. Maybe I'll just share again if the.
Let me get you back up again, Bill.
No problem.
Yeah. There you go. Sorry about that.
See if I can see if I have that picture. So out in front, there's the pergola, Commissioner, where we have some seating underneath the pergola. This would be utilized for some outdoor seating. But again, all of the activity would be taking place indoors. This is just outdoor sort of additional overflow seating. There are some beautiful pollinator gardens that in the summertime are just gorgeous to walk through. So we would expect that people at events might take advantage of that and walk through that area. But generally speaking, the real dining area, event area, the core of it will take place in the lounge, which is what's shown on the screen right now.
Okay. So I think what I was kind of getting to is, are they planning to use the pickleball courts as like a dancing area, or will there be like music outside? That's what I'm curious. Will there be tables set up out there?
No, there's no proposal to use the pickleball courts for anything but pickleball at this point. If there is any music, it would be very low intensity. We expect the place isn't big enough to support things like full bands or anything like that. We may have some acoustic music. We would expect that to be inside. There may be some, in the summertime when windows are open, you might be able to hear that out on the outer porches. But again, this would not be sort of a high intensity sort of performing arts facility. That's not the intention of it. And anything would really be centered on inside. To the extent you might hear something in passing during an event, that could happen. But again, that would be really limited to the summer months when windows are open. And again, we wouldn't be setting up bands outside or anything like that.
Okay, thank you. And you expect events to be over by 10 o'clock?
Yeah, that's generally the industry standard. I don't know of any town or I don't know of any event center that's open after 10 o'clock in southeastern Connecticut. Most event centers try to shut down their events around 10, and then there's usually a cleanup period. Caterers come in, they take out the garbage, they leave with the garbage, and that usually can take anywhere from a half an hour to an hour, depending on how much breakdown there is. This is a small facility, and I represent a tremendous number of event facilities in southeastern Connecticut. This would be one of the smallest, if not the smallest, that I've been involved with. So I don't think that there would be a tremendous amount of time for cleanup and breakdown. So I would think that by 11 o'clock or so, there may be some occasions might take a little bit longer, but it would generally be people would be petering out, then catering staff would be leaving by then.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for the questions.
We take it down again, Mark? Unless somebody else wants to see this.
I'll do it. Sorry.
Tim Condorino, anything?
I just have a quick question, more for the commission, I think. As far as the shared parking, and I'm very familiar with the area and I'm familiar with Diversa's other properties, is this consistent what we've allowed with other businesses down in the area?
No, I can get that, I guess. Yes, actually, Tim, and actually with Diversa's, the other property is owned by the applicant. We've gone the same route. The Mago Point district regulations allow share parking within a certain distance of a facility or a site, and this falls within those parameters. So yeah, we currently allow it down there in other aspects, and the regulations allow for that.
And it's approved for this site particularly already as part of the 2023 approval.
Okay, thank you.
Doris?
No questions.
Mike?
No questions.
Okay, anybody have motion? Mark, do you have anything else you want to say?
No, my staff report that the commission has everything was touched upon in the staff report, so I think we're ready to go.
Okay. So want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve with modifications the site plan for a private clubhouse banquet hall use application PL 25-22 at 358 and 360 Mago Point Way with conditions 1 through 3, and adopt the findings 1 through 5 of the staff report dated February 10th, 2026.
I'll second. Karen.
Motion made by Tim Condorino, seconded by Karen. Any discussion on the motion? No? Okay. I just want to say I think it's an excellent idea. I think it will provide some vitality down there, bring some people down there. Excellent venue. So why don't we just vote? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Nope. Mike, that was in
Aye.
favor, right? Okay.
Aye.
All right. Any opposed? No. Okay, great. Thank you all for coming. And
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Have a wonderful night.
you too. Take care.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item is, do we have anybody on the next application?
I see
Yeah, Jim's desktop is Jim Bernardo.
Oh, okay.
Surveyor.
Very good. Thanks, Jim.
So item number 5, we have is PL-26-1, request of CNR Investments, Inc., owner and applicant for a modified site plan review and approval for a business office with a one-family dwelling on property at 376 Boston Post Road, CG zone, in accordance with sections 8.1.1, 8.1.3, and 22 of the zoning regulations, and as shown on plans entitled Improvement Location Survey Property of CNR Investments, Inc., for property located at 376 Boston Post Road, US Route 1. Mark, do you have anything?
No, I don't at this point. I think we're open for the applicant to make the presentation.
Okay. It's all yours, Mr. Bernardo.
Okay, I don't have a camera, so you can't see my lovely face, but my name is Jim Bernardo, and I'm a land surveyor. I'm representing the property owner CNR Investments, which is doing business as Christopher Home Improvements. They own the property at 376 Boston Post Road. This is in front of the, or adjacent to the old Septembers and by the VFW, the long vacant building that's been standing there. That site had been granted Planning and Zoning Commission approval in August of 2010, PZ 2010-18. The approval was granted for two retail offices on the first floor, a professional office, and a two-bedroom residential apartment on the second floor. For the most part, most of the improvements have been completed on the site. The 5-year statutory requirement to complete those improvements was not finalized, so a certificate of occupancy (CO) has never been issued for the building. The application that's in front of you tonight is for a change of use. As I said, Christopher Home Improvements wishes to open up their contractor's office on the property on the second floor, as well as a single-family residential use. Single-family residential uses are permitted in the CG zone, as well as the business office for the contractor. Ancillary to that would be the first floor, where they will just store some supplies and equipment for that's part of their day-to-day business. There were Mark, I don't know if you want to pull up sheet 2. Can you do that?
I can co-host you.
All right, I can try to, and then you're going to have me try to share my screen, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. It's your game.
Let's see if I can figure out how to do this. And we're going to share this one. Share. Oh, look at that. Okay. So you can, I'm assuming everyone can see sheet 2 on the screen there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what they plan on doing, and the only real changes to the site plan as far as what was approved before, is they want to add a concrete, I'm going to call it a loading dock here in the back. And on the back side of the building, they're going to install an overhead door. And again, that's so they can bring equipment and bring supplies into the building and store it, and then transport it out to the different job sites. There'll be no outside storage of any equipment on the site. To address the increase in runoff from that driveway, we're proposing a small rain garden adjacent to it to capture the runoff. Now, you also notice on the north end of the site, the parking lot was not constructed in that area in accordance with the zoning regulations. The parking spaces are too small. There's not significant area to back out of a space. So that area will be repaved and extended to conform to the zoning regulations and allow for 20-foot parking spaces in depth and 9-foot width parking spaces, as well as a handicap accessible area. In addition, the landscaping was not completed on the site, so they're proposing landscaping again along the area to the north, which is also a CG zone. That's the VFW. They'll be planting some landscaping shrubs there. That's where they intend to store their company trucks. So we're providing some shielding from the storage there. And then to the west of the property, that's actually the R40 zone. So there'll be a full screening buffer there with arborvitaes to screen that residential property on Spithead Road from the activity from the commercial use. Let me see what else I have from my notes. I know there was a concern on the staff review about the stormwater management system on the property. Greg Fettis, engineer, did an inspection on the stormwater management system, and there was a report that was provided to staff on that. His only suggestions were basically to have everything, the structures cleaned and maintained, and then there's some inspection ports and caps for the Caltech detention system, which is up here in the front. Have the inspection ports replaced. I noticed that when I done the survey that many of the caps had been destroyed or broken. And I think that's basically all I have. If you want to go through the staff report, I think I've pretty much addressed everything in there, but that's basically all I have. The only other thing is that the business operating hours would be 8 to 4:30 Monday through Friday with occasional Saturdays. But again, they're not going to be seeing clients here. There should be no reason for anybody to come there but employees. And they said occasionally Saturday mornings, the bookkeeper will come in or the secretary will come in to take care of paperwork. But it's not going to be anything that's going to be open to the public per se, where they're going to have transient vehicles coming in and out all different hours. It would just be office staff and their company trucks on the site.
Okay, thank you. Can you stop sharing that, Mark?
Yeah, well, that'll be Jim. No.
What I don't see on there is Kate's cart.
Oh,
Where's she gonna go?
You know, I haven't actually asked the owners, but I don't see any reason why they would have her move. But I didn't ask them about that. I mean, they own the building now, and they haven't stopped her. So let's hope they're going to continue with that.
Yeah, she's been there a long time. Any questions for Mr. Bernardo? No. Mark, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I have just in my staff report, you notice that there were two conditions. The first one, excuse me, the first condition, they did provide, or the engineer did provide, and we now have it in the record, the report from the engineer regarding the maintenance and inspection of the subsurface drainage system. Also, typically, we request as-built to be done prior to issuing a certificate of zoning compliance. What I would like to do is in Mr. Bernardo's presentation, he stated that there would not be any outside storage of materials or of equipment other than company trucks, I would imagine. So I would like to add that as a third condition to my staff report, that there will be no outside storage of material or equipment other than company trucks. If the commission would want to consider those, you can go ahead and have a discussion on that.
Do you think that there's going to be a desire to, Mr. Bernardo?
Well, there's certainly the ability to, especially if there's not going to be any. They won't be utilizing all the parking there. There's certainly that ability to do that. I just want to be sure that that doesn't occur.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea. Mr. Bernardo, do you have an opinion on that?
They did express to me that there would be no outside storage. So, I mean, I just have to go by what they said. I know there was an issue for a while with a Connex box that was on the site, and they removed that promptly once the town had requested that. And I did ask them about anything stored outside, and they said no. So I can only go by what they tell me.
Okay. How does the commission feel about adding that as a condition? No supplies or equipment outside.
I think it's a good idea. There's also been a Moffett lift there for a long time too, like a forklift.
Yeah.
Currently.
Okay. Someone want to make a motion and maybe amend the conditions?
I'll make a motion to approve with conditions planning and zoning site plan application PL-26-1 for a business office and one family dwelling located at 376 Boston Post Road with conditions 1, 2, and 3, and to adopt findings 1 through 4 of the staff report dated February 10th, 2026.
And just to be clear, that the third condition that you're adding is no equipment and supplies stored outside, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
A motion made by Dora, seconded by Mike. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor? Aye.
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 Okay. That's 5-0.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too. Okay, now we are 20 PL-25-21 application of the Waterford Planning and Zoning Commission to amend the zoning regulations, section 1, definitions by adding farm promotional events and farm catering events, sections 3.41, 3.41.1, 3.41.2B, 3.412C, 3.412F, 3.412N, 3.41.3, and 6.1.2 as they pertain to the purpose, general provisions, and submission requirements applicable to agritourism. Public hearing closed on 1/13, and we're here to act on any motion. I just want to state for the record that I did review the prior hearing to vote on this. Doris, did you abstain from the last minutes because you weren't there?
Yeah,
Okay, did you review?
yes, I did.
You did, okay, great. So we're all eligible to vote. Okay, so where are we on this in terms of everybody's opinions?
Yep. So at this point, it is in the discussion mode with the members of the commission. So you can discuss if you would like.
So the last time we discussed this, we discussed about limiting some of the or putting some limiting language in the proposal. I don't see it in the one that's here. Did you change anything, Mark?
What were we limiting?
I'm not exactly sure. I was not in favor of it, so I don't know exactly. But there was some discussion that certain members wanted to maybe limit it, so I wasn't sure. I thought we were going to maybe have two proposals side by side to look at, but my memory might not be accurate, so I'm not exactly sure.
So
Yeah.
Greg,
Go
I
ahead.
think I was the one that was asking us to put the brakes on just throwing the doors wide open.
Yep.
And I think what had come out of that meeting was the initial published public hearing notice about it had the limitation, and the new public hearing notice had removed all the limitations. So we were having people comment on the new, just let them do what they want, as opposed to our former one, which had the like 25 events a year. They got to go and get the thing within 7 days. Language, and that's why we republished.
You're absolutely
right?
right. Yes, and so now we're going with the most expansive language, so that if we restrict it, we would be covered by the notice. That's exactly right. I forgot about that. So that's why we're here with the most expansive language. So because that was advertised, and then we can restrict it without running afoul of the notice. Right. Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
Yep. So I just would, start by saying that, we just approved a banquet hall, and we didn't have any restrictions at all. I think it's hopefully difficult to all of a sudden just put one in on this. And I understand your comments from the past meeting, Karen. I was curious about what would happen with the hall earlier tonight, and nothing did. So that's just my comment on it.
Yeah, I think the big difference I see between the Mego Point and the agritourism is that the farms are in residential areas, whereas the Mego Point is a district where there are already restaurants like Fat Tuna operating. And the neighbors, I mean, let's be honest, the Diverses own the 3 properties around it. So the immediate neighbors to the pickleball court are the people who own the pickleball court. I don't know that that's the case with however many farms we have in town. And I think my sense of caution comes from our discussion a few years ago about music, where we took all the restrictions off, and then we heard from the neighbors that it was a problem, and we had to kind of backtrack to making an agreement with one of the restaurants in town to have the music turned off by a certain time of day. And I think that's where I'm coming from. That when you're in a residential area and you have neighbors around you, and they might be 100 feet and there's a buffer. But once we allow this, we can't take it back. We can issue new rules for new applicants, but we can't restrict people who are, going to be grandfathered at that point. And I just want to be careful what we do today, because sometimes we don't always know, people tell us dinner music and then we find out it's a bit louder than that. I don't know how the rest of you guys think.
I agree that when we were talking about the residential area, it was more of a concern of the neighbors. But that's why there'd probably be a difference.
We might want to look at a map of Magle Point, because it's surrounded by residential. It's not, it may be a commercial property, but in the back, that's all residential. We used to have, I believe, and Mark can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know, but a lot of issues with music coming out of the restaurant that was what is now Fatuna's, but prior, down on Niantic River Road, across the river in Niantic. I mean, the noise traveled like crazy. So it actually affects more people, I would think, than the farms where we have some buffer zones and larger properties. But the property that we approved earlier tonight is going to affect, I don't think negatively, but is going to or potentially affect far more properties, even though it's actually not in a residential zone. So I'm comfortable with the 3.41.2D as in David, where the activities shall occur between 8 and 10. So they're done at 10 o'clock. That's my biggest issue more than anything else. At least I think if it was in my neighborhood or something, I just don't want it at midnight or 11 o'clock. But 10 o'clock, I mean, I guess I'm fine with it.
Greg, I would.
And is there any?
Next one.
Go ahead, Karen.
Is there anything in here that the music has to be in like the barn? Because like the applicant that just came in front of us said the music would be indoors and there's not space for like a large band to set up.
Yes. Currently that's required in the agritourism regs, and we're not modifying that in this proposal in front of us. That and I'm pulling that up right now.
It's section J.
Thank you.
All amplified music or sound shall occur within structures and shall comply with all town and Waterford noise ordinances.
Yeah.
Can I just bring to light something too? We're talking about parcels here that have to be 20 acres or more. And again, when we look at Magle Point, I'm not gonna venture out on a guess, but I'm gonna guess that Magle Point probably isn't too much more than 20 acres, the whole in its entirety. I grew up at 19 Niantic River Road. I'm very familiar with the residents in that area. And Greg, you're right. There's stuff real tight to that. All these things that we're doing with this agritourism, we're starting by telling them they got to have 20 acres to begin. And we've established a whole bunch of buffers on parking and where things go. I think these things are good, but I think they're already very restrictive. I don't think we need to keep. I think we can take this at a case by case. We're talking about a handful of venues. I don't see where there's going to be big problems.
No, Karen, just in addition to the music should be indoors, the next one says exterior speakers or amplification of music or sound is prohibited. It's almost duplicative, but it covers must be inside and can't be outside, basically in two different sections of the proposal, if that alleviates concerns. We have comments, or can we take a vote whether you want to move forward with this or not? This is the commission application. Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion, that the commission approve PL 25-21, to amend the zoning regs, sections 1, definitions 3.41, 3.41.1, 3.41.2, B, C, F, and N, 3.413, and 6.1.2, and adopt the findings 1 through 4 of the staff report dated January 13th, 2026.
With an effective date of February 20th, 26, right?
Yes, thank you.
One other thing I'd like to add, if we can modify that effective date because of the time that's passed, it generally takes about 3 weeks before we can enact a effective date of a regulation amendment. So I'm proposing an effective date of March 10th, 2026.
That good, Tim? Change the motion in that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So the motion as Tim proposed it would be effective March 10th, 2026. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded, made by Tim, seconded by Doris. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor? Aye.
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 Karen?
No, I think I'm a no.
Okay. 4-1. Passed. Okay. Item number 6. Administrative review.
We have nothing.
Item number 7. Any correspondence?
We have none.
Item number 8. Review of ongoing, past, or upcoming projects.
Sure. Well, I think as we all know, and as what was reflected this evening in receipt of applications, the Bristol Mall is going to be in front of you for conversion of the building to professional offices for EB. And that's what we're looking at is going to be a site plan, a special permit application for that. That'll be in front of the commission shortly, potentially March 10th on that one. Also, the application for it's Restaurant Depot. That is on the pad next to Walmart. That's been used for years as a carnival for the Oswegatchie Firehouse or Cohansky. I'm not sure which company, but that one will be coming in as well. Again, potential date on that is also March 10th on that one. That's a site plan. It's not a public hearing. It's not a special permit review on that one. Ongoing, the Project Learn plans were signed today and they will be filed. So that will be underway shortly. That's the magnet school that was approved at the location of the old Southwest School off of Daniels Avenue. So they are really getting ready. They're gearing up for pre-construction meetings and application review for building permits to start that project very shortly. Pickleball courts go along with that. The commission recalls there are 2 applications, 2 approvals, one for the school, one for the pickleball courts. So that will be underway very, very soon. In terms of activity that's happening in town now, we have Hobby Lobby moving into the old Bob store. Permits have been applied for that. That's currently under review. We also have Dave's Hot Chicken, which is going to be going into the vacant restaurant. I think we recall it's a Papa Gino's at the Stop and Shop shopping center. That building's been vacant for a while. So there's going to be a chicken place going into there very soon as well. Permits have been applied for that. And there's one more.
Walmart's about to be issued.
Correct. Walmart expansion that the commission had approved a little while ago was a small 3,500 square foot addition to the Walmart building. That's going to be underway very shortly. And Boot Barn, which is going into, I believe it was Party World up in Waterford Commons. It's a Western clothing store, retail store that's going to be moving into there. K Jewelers moved out of Crystal Mall into Waterford Commons. So that was an opportunity for them, which is good. We always like to see at least existing businesses stay in town. If they find that opportunity, that's great. Crystal Mall, getting back to that one quickly. I believe that all the existing tenants that are in there now, according to Electric Boat, they have a deadline of March 31st to vacate that area there. However, the restaurants stay open. You're going to see Longhorn, Olive Garden are going to continue the way they are, and Buffalo Wild Wings is going to remain open at least during the construction and the remodel of the building. Not sure what will happen after that. EB is looking for to finish all their construction and to start bringing people in 2027, looking at probably the fall, to have that place to have that area totally set up for all their workers. So, but yeah, that's pretty much where we are right now.
Did you mention the airport?
Yes, the airport we just received. You guys should be getting that. The packets will be going out tomorrow for that one. That's they're looking at adding multifamily to the industrial district that's there now. And we're just focusing on the airport property. It's about 188 acres. It's a big parcel of land. There's going to be a mix of multifamily type there. So we're looking at a couple buildings with apartments. We're looking at townhouse. We're looking at small single family style. But it's all going to be set up like a common interest community. So there's not a subdivision or anything like that. In addition to that, they're also adding a commercial or business use in the front. So all the residential will be behind that as it goes. There's a concept plan that you'll be receiving as well along in that package. Shows the breakup and where the different style residential units are going to be located on the property.
Mark,
Yes.
this is Karen. One quick question on the Learn property.
Yep.
Are they still doing the perimeter trail on that property? Like the town, I think, was supposed to be doing that. And when we saw the pickleball courts, we didn't really see anything about that with that presentation.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the town is retaining a boundary around the Learn property. And as part of and that was to establish a walking, a public walking trail around that. So in addition to the pickleball courts and also where that cell tower is located as well in the back, and then around the perimeter of the property back out onto Daniels Avenue, behind those parcels off of, I think it's High Street there. But yeah, the town has retained that. It's like a big horseshoe.
Quick question.
And do we know will do that work, or is it after Learn does their building?
Yeah, well, Learn is going to be doing the pickleball court as part of this project. They're not going to be doing the trail or anything like that. That will be up to us.
Okay, thanks.
Yours?
Where are we with the POCD?
Yep.
So we're meeting tomorrow, me and Mark and our consultant, Jim Butler, to try to make some final or almost final changes to get it back to the commission.
Okay.
Yep.
And Safe Futures is almost ready to start to move forward. Permits have been applied for. Bids are being opened, so that project is on its way too. I think there's more happening in Waterford right now than I can remember.
Oh, yes, I
Yeah.
know that.
By far. By far, I know how to change. And then that's it's good for the town, maybe not good for Mark's office, but it's good for the town. So
Yeah,
it's
no,
kind
no,
of
no,
exciting. We haven't had this much change in a long time.
I know. It's really, honestly, even though it's a lot of work and everything for us, it's really exciting to see all this happening too. It's
Yeah.
really great.
And the duck pond. I mean, how do you beat that? The whole thing, the skating on the duck pond. It's like, it's great. All right. Anybody have anything else? All right. Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn, Karen.
Made by Karen, seconded by Mike.
Second it.
All in favor to adjourn?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Everybody stay warm. Nice to see everyone. Have a good night.
Okay, good night, everybody.
All right, thanks.
What time is it? I can't read that. 7:32.